This is one of the greatest Marvel villains that we'll be taking a look at today. Of course, the Green Goblin. Part of the Villains Wave, the Series 13 of the Toy Biz Marvel Legends. In this series, we have Blackheart, Lady Deathstrike, Pyro, Loki, Abomination, and the Build-A-Figure is Onslaught, the evil side of both Magneto and Professor Xavier in physical form. There's some great eyes, the nice yellow paint job, the teeth in that grin, the long ears, chainmail detail, the folds in his boots and gloves, and you can even see the stitching on his gloves. Check that out on the thumb there. A couple of things. His fingers are a very soft plastic, and his knees are very weak. Since they're so thin, I've kept mine purposely straight and made sure they're stiff, because I've encountered that problem with the remold of this figure in the Spider-Man line, which is Hobgoblin. Also, another minor gripe is that the little pumpkin bomb that he's holding is actually glued onto his hand. You cannot remove it. I guess it's better that it be glued in there rather than have it just constantly falling out. So I guess that's something that's actually good. He's painted very nicely too. This deep green and purple, and he's got the pumpkin bomb is a nice metallic orange, and the detail in it is, the face is painted in really nice. Again, I mentioned the yellow in his eyes. For his accessories, he comes with a goblin glider, and already on a stand. You can put him on there and just take some doing. Just clip his feet there. There he is, riding his goblin glider. And if you don't like him on the stand, it does pop off. You could probably suspend it with some fishing wire if you wanted to have him flying. It just clips right into the base. It's only designed to be one way, so you do need quite a flat surface for it. And you gotta be careful posing, because it does tend to tip over if not balanced towards the back. Also, he comes with his little man bag, pouch, in which he keeps all his pumpkin bombs and razor bats. For articulation, his head goes side to side and up and down very nicely, and full 360 on the shoulders, in and out, rotate at the bicep, double elbow joint, rotates at the glove, his wrists bend, and his fingers bend together. He's got abdominal articulation, waist articulation. His legs move forward and back, in and out, rotate at the thigh, double knee joint, rotate at the boot here, bend at the ankle. There's no pivot at the ankle, but there is toe articulation. Green Goblin first appears in Amazing Spider-Man number 14 in 1964. Norman Osborn is just portrayed as a tough businessman who is not evil, just not necessarily on the up and up with all his business deals. His partner in the chemical company that he runs borrowed some money from the company and had every intention of returning it, but Norman saw an opportunity and reported the money as stolen. So basically, he gained control of the company over that way. Strom was working on this formula, this strength formula, actually supposed to extend life. Osborn, Norman tries to reproduce this, but the chemicals that he's working with turn green, and it blows up in his face. And this explosion and the chemicals cause a psychotic break while giving him enhanced strength and endurance. He slowly creates the paraphernalia and the costume of the Green Goblin. He plots to take over the mobs of New York City. He's opposed on a couple of schemes by Spider-Man, and that really becomes personal. He eventually uses this gas to take away Spider-Man's spider sense, trails Spider-Man to his home where he learns that he's Peter Parker. He kidnaps Peter and reveals his identity as Norman Osborn. Well, Peter gets free, and there's a fight, and another explosion happens. Norman Osborn survives, but he has amnesia. He has no memories of the Goblin. However, these memories slowly start to return. His son Harry's drug use triggers his memories, and once and for all, he knows that he's been the Goblin. Basically goes off the deep end and kidnaps Gwen Stacy, and I think we all know how that turns out. Pretty bad for her, and he is apparently killed by his own glider, with which he wanted to impale Spider-Man on, but turned out impaling himself. Actually, that's not true. See, the formula that gave him the strength also gave him, conveniently enough, a healing factor, which saves him from his injury. And he proceeds to cover up his survival, getting another body in the morgue, and then he flees to Europe. It's there that he creates the Scryers, which is a kind of a secret society whose sole goal is to screw with Peter Parker's mind. A lot of things with Aunt May and the baby, and comes up with the plot, the Clone Wars plot, or I'm sorry, not the Clone Wars, the Clone Saga thing. Yes, you can blame Norman for that. Of course, all of that is behind the scenes. You don't actually see him. He finally reappears, having bought one half of the Daily Bugle, and emerges as sort of this, equivalent to Lex Luthor, if you will, in the Marvel universe, where that he starts to come off to the public as this great guy and a paragon of the captain of industry, and yet the hero will know that he's really just like the most despicable person on earth and totally insane. Which eventually he does go, because Norman hears of this magical ritual which will grant 5 people different gifts. And among the gifts is power, and so he wants more power. And he performs this ritual, and unfortunately, or fortunately, he gets the short end of the stick and receives madness.